All right, yeah, so I'm talking about this buck right here. So 2021, had some history with this buck. Got permission on, it was actually a buddy of mine's property. It backed up to a giant horse farm, so it was like a nice transition area that we were hunting. Had him on camera. There was like a nice bachelor group that we'd be glassing over the summer, and this is one of the bucks that we wanted to take. So it was me, my brother, and another buddy who were hunting this farm. I think it was like September 20th. I was out on like on a weekday. It was nice, that early season you can hunt a little bit later, and I had him at last light. I was hunting out of a saddle, and I had him about 30 yards. It was a chip shot, and it was pretty funny because didn't have any broadheads. So the guy I was hunting with, I was like, "Hey man, I left my broadheads at home. Can you leave one at your truck?" Sure enough, he does. I pick up the broadheads, get in my stand, I get my set. Last light comes, this thing comes, right off the tree line, right where I thought he'd come through, and I have a nice shot at him, thinking, everything's good. Drew back, bubble's good. I let the arrow go, and it actually hits a branch, deflects, goes right under him. He has no idea what happened. He circles back, tries to like catch my wind or whatever. He winds up coming 5 yards right to the base of my tree. I could have kicked him in the head. Like I'm 2 sticks up on a saddle, and I'm looking down at this thing. I got one broadhead that is, buried in the dirt. I'm heated. Like and I've missed deer before, but this is by far my biggest deer that I would have shot. So I let that spot set for about a week, and then I head back, and it was, second week of October, and I'm thinking his whole pattern's going to switch up. So I have about the same wind, and I sat almost the exact same setup, and I'm glassing another deer that's out in the field, and it's I probably got 15 minutes of shooting light, and this guy comes right through the timber again, like same spot, same everything. And I have him quartering 2 at about 10 yards, drew back, and I got a pretty good shot on him, and he went, crashed through, piled up like 50 yards, and it was pretty cool that I got to catch back up with him. I was definitely a little upset about that. And I was reading articles and everything, like, what do you do after you miss a deer, and making sure my bow and everything was good. And I brought a bunch of broadheads out. Luckily I only needed one. So it was a funny story, and, definitely a good story behind that deer.
That's awesome, man. So I'm glad to hear you're already a saddle hunter. What brand did you have before?
I started off with the Hawk Helium, like the starter set. I was up for work in Long Island, and I stopped at a Field and Stream, and I was hunting out of a XOP that I still hunt out of XOP, and their gear, it's great, but I wanted to switch it up, try to get into the mobile game a little bit. So I started with that, and I've been kind of modding and tweaking. I'll rotate saddles, now and between saddle and a regular hang on. But yeah, I was looking to actually get into a tethered saddle this year and a platform. So this is, perfect way to get in.
Awesome, man. I'm glad to hear it. Yeah, the new TETHRD Ultralock. So this is the SD, the stripped down version. Gus and I both bought one. TETHRD agreed to give one away. They're going to ship it to you, so you don't have to deal with me anymore. But it's such a comfortable saddle, dude. It expands so big, just the way the pleats are on it. It's like sitting in a hammock. You're going to love it. Yeah. Definitely send me some content with you using it, man. It'd be cool just to see it.
Definitely. Will do.